Today, I'll be diagnosing and replacing the circuit board of my Dometic 6-gallon water heater in my RV. A proper diagnosis here is important, because you don't just want to turn yourself into a parts cannon until a solution is found, which may take a lot of time and expense. The first sign that something was wrong was that in spite of the electric element being on, the water had run cold. Flipping the switch for the electric element on and off did nothing, and I couldn't hear the usual relay clicking. However, the propane portion worked just fine. This clue was important for my diagnosis because it left 4 options: the circuit board itself, the relay which drives the electric heating element, the element itself, or damaged wiring. I performed a visual inspection of the wiring and didn't find any obvious fraying or corrosion. I also checked the 2-amp fuse on the board, and that wasn't blown either. Next, I took my multimeter, set it to DC voltage, grounded the negative lead, and probed a few pins with both the electric and the propane running at the same time. Having the water heater running is key so that you can read the proper signals. I first probed this pin here for the red wire and got 10 or so volts. This red wire is what drives the propane gas valve to be on. This is to be expected because it was functioning just fine. However, this pin here for the yellow wire gave me little to no voltage. The yellow wire drives the aforementioned relay, which in turn activates the electric heating element. This made sense because the water in my tank was cold. This indicated either a bad card or a bad relay, so I took the following extra steps. I turned everything off on the heater, removed the yellow wire and the red wire from the connector, and plugged the yellow wire into the 4th pin where the red wire was. Depinning these wires from the connector is easier said than done, but if you have a small flathead screwdriver and experience with this, it's feasible to do without damaging the pins or connector. Then I turned the propane portion on, which was now driving the electric element. Sure enough, I heard the relay click, indicating that the circuit board was indeed not sending signal from pin 2, where the yellow wire first was. Alternatively, you could just cut both the red and yellow wires and splice the relay portion of the yellow to the output portion of the red to make this test, then solder and shrink tube them back together. This is probably faster and has less potential to be damaging, honestly. With this diagnosis, I went ahead and ordered a knockoff brand circuit board, partially because I wanted to save money, and partially because I didn't feel like the Dometic card should have failed like this to begin with. However, the knockoff brand couldn't get the propane to light properly, so I wound up going with Dometic anyways, which I have linked to below. To replace the card, turn both the propane and electric switches off, use a flathead to pry the clip on each connector, then disconnect them. Then pull the spark plug connector off of the card. You'll need a 1/4-inch socket to remove the 2 bolts holding the circuit board and install the new card. With this, my hot water heater was back in business, and I could get back to doing what was truly important. Until next time, thank you for watching.